Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today we're going to be doing the daily reading for Sunday, April 25th, 2021. And today is the day that's ruled by the crown chakra and guided by flowering. And the galactic signature of today is the yellow lunar human. And so the yellow human tribe is all about influencing free will and wisdom. And so it's this idea that we come into this life with the gift of free will. And with that free will, we can choose whatever experience it is that we want to choose. And yes, we do have a divine life path, right? We have a series of experiences that our soul sort of coordinates with other souls before entering into this lifetime in order to get the fullness of the soul growth and experience that it wishes to experience. And we can deviate from that only so much, I think. A lot of that tends to come in regardless of our free will choices. But of course, we can shift the way that we have this experience. And we can, I do believe, shift out of some of those experiences through our free will. And so it's a really interesting thing. And the more in alignment we become with our higher selves and with then our souls, the more we can ensure that we make those free will choices that really help us to get the most out of this human experience that we came here to have. But we do have the ability to make those choices. And that's where we really begin to become empowered, because we realize that everything that we experience, we are choosing. And if we are not enjoying our experience, what else can we choose? How can we utilize our free will and really activate our abilities as co-creators in order to experience and choose something else? This is also about the wisdom that is acquired through the free will choices that we make. And when we're working with this lunar tone, we're really looking at contrast. We're looking at polarity or duality, right? We're looking at all of the different experiences, especially those that were challenging, those that really forced us deeper into ourselves, that forced us to dig and call upon our deepest strength in order to move through, in order to experience, right? Those free will choices that provide the contrast, that show us what we don't want so that we know more deeply what we do want. That's some of the energy that we're really looking at with this lunar tone involved in the mix today. It's that challenging energy, right? That really pushes us into deep and lasting soul growth. And as we acquire this wisdom from our choices, right, we require the wisdom that says, okay, so that experience was painful. I don't want to have that again. We also have the ability to share that wisdom with others, to share the wisdom of our journey. I see this yellow human energy in very many ways as like the wisdom keepers. The yellow humans are the keepers of that wisdom. And so we have the opportunity then to share our wisdom with others so that they may perhaps make other choices, or so that they may understand more deeply the impacts and the relevance of the choices that they have made. This is a collective energy as well. And so we really look at how our wisdom can influence the collective. And the biggest way that our wisdom influences the collective is by the choices that we make. Once we've garnered that wisdom, right? What choices do we make then? And how are we able to shift our beliefs, shift the structures that we're born into, right? We're born into a culture, we're born into a society, we're born to a family that have certain rules and codes of conduct, certain ways of seeing and perceiving the world and behaving in the world as a result, right? We're born into this physically. We also carry remnants of this in our very DNA for our ancestral line. And so we're really looking at and understanding what we're born into, and then the free will choices that we make, whether we continue to go with the narrative of what's expected, or whether we make a different choice. And we're at the period now in our collective evolution where we're beginning to make different choices, because we're seeing how a lot of the choices that were made, even if we understand, we see the wisdom behind why they were made, are not working anymore and are not creating the world, the society, the consciousness, the earth that we want to be a part of. And so we're beginning to collectively share our wisdom and use that wisdom and the wisdom of our ancestors, right, to make different free will choices and to really utilize the wisdom that we've gained in our journey to share that experience to maybe influence others in making different free will choices as well. So this is a really big, beautiful, potent energy that we are dealing with today. And we are actually, hold on, before I get into that, the affirmation for today is, I polarize in order to influence, stabilizing wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of flowering. And the additional affirmation is, I am ebb, human. I am your free will. I give you the wealth of going your own way. And so the guidance for today is to focus on choosing to be fueled with higher expansive wisdom. Awaken the abilities of your human form by guiding your free will with self-love. Enjoy your humanness. Honor your fellow human journeyers by extending wisdom. All right, and it also says, yellow human days provide an opportunity for us all to be channels. As human beings, we are vessels, and we can choose to allow spirit to fill our vessels with wisdom. What we do with this wisdom, however, is up to us, and that is why free will is a key phrase associated with yellow human. We all have within us the potential to develop our intuition. We've simply forgotten that it twists. Today, if you need an answer, try to receive it intuitively. Human beings are the connection between heaven and earth. Allow yourself to be the vessel and channel messages from the soul that connects us to heaven. So really beautiful, gorgeous guidance there for today. We are in that full moon warm up. The full moon is happening either tomorrow or the day after, depending on where you are in the world. It's a big one. I just put out the video for that yesterday. So check that out if you guys haven't yet. Another interesting thing that I didn't mention when I was in the video was that this full moon is very much connected to the eclipse that we're going to have in Taurus in November. And so we're going to be feeling these energies from this full moon. I really, truly am feeling throughout the Pluto retrograde, really refining a lot of the shadowy aspects, especially of this energy. And then we're really going to see a culmination of it in November when we have that eclipse in Taurus. It's the only eclipse that's not connected with the 3 other eclipses in Gemini and Sagittarius that we're going to have this year. It's sort of a standalone, but it's not, because it's connecting to this full moon. That's another reason this full moon feels so powerful. So really pay attention to what's coming up during this full moon and what continues to transpire as we move into November. We've got some big energies that we're working with. This is going to be one of them. So check out that video. And then we're also going to have a lot of energies around our belief systems with these other 3 eclipses. And I will get that video out going over the eclipse season very shortly here. But we're working on those beliefs. We're working on our perceptions. We're working on how we understand the world. And with these 2 eclipses, we're really working on the shadow self. We're working on bringing that into the light. We're working on how we stand in our authenticity and our individuality, what it is that we value, how it is that we show up in the world and feel confident and able to show up in the world as the fullest version of ourselves. So there's a lot of light that we're bringing in. There's a lot of I hate using the words light and dark in this way, but there's a lot of heaviness and density that we're releasing in order to make way for more of this light. And there's a lot of shadow stuff that's going to be coming into our awareness for us to address and for us to integrate, right? To heal, to transmute, to integrate. So big stuff, you guys. Check out that video if you haven't yet. And we are going to get into, we're going to do some Moonology cards. Clear. Let's get some guidance for today. What's going on today? What guidance do we have for the 25th of April? Yes. Yeah, we're moving right along, you guys. About to get into May. And then we will have that 555 portal, which is going to be huge. That is the number of changes. So we're going to have, a video on that that should be coming out very shortly too. Because it is a 5-year, this 555 portal, I'm feeling as a very, very big one. So we're beginning to sense some of those shifts, some of those big changes that are coming. Some of them are already revealing themselves, right? And there's more underway. So we are shifting and changing a lot within and in order to experience those changes that are coming without. And so this may instigate the changes within that are necessary to bring the changes without, but I think a lot of people, we've been in that process, right? So a lot of people will be seeing some of those changes without as well, just sort of, it's going to be a big energy to set those intentions for that as well. So we'll get into that with the video. But let's see what we got going on right now. We have the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. And then we have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. And so there may be, this is definitely the energy of situations coming to a head, but not in a negative way, right? This is in a very positive, beneficial way. Something is reaching resolution. We have a win-win outcome is forecast on the bottom of the deck. And with this Uranus energy that we also have involved in this eclipse, like it could be very unexpected as far as how these personal issues are resolved. Like it could be a situation that's been kind of dragging on for quite some time, and then all of a sudden like that, there's a solution within reach, is some of the energy. And the answers you need are coming, full moon in Gemini. So there's going to be a lot that you are going to see and understand possibly that's going to facilitate the resolution of these personal issues, I think. And some of those answers, right, this is that full moon in Gemini energy. So they may come through communications, right? You might receive communication about something, just learning information and facts that those necessary informations and facts that you didn't have before. Some of that is coming. And I think for some people, it's actually the resolution of whatever it is that's wanting and needing to be resolved. And with this Cancer card, this could have to do with the home and family, could have to do with childhood stuff, a whole bunch of different stuff. But something about the way it's resolved gives you answers too for some people, which is interesting. Then we have don't let your past hold you back, and communication is key. Yeah. So through the conversations, right? Like we said, the information coming through in conversation as well. It's going to be really important to communicate right now. Communication is what brings the resolution for some people as well. For some people, the resolution is what brings them the answers. For some people, the communication brings the answers that allow the situation to resolve. And so, it could go either way for people. It just really depends. But it's like, talk about what's going on. Whatever it is that you're thinking, whatever it is that you're feeling, I feel like for some people, it's like you've been in this energy, kind of like, you know how Cancer is that energy that really crawls back into its shell sometimes? Almost like pulled back into your shell. And there's been things that you've been thinking and especially feeling that you haven't been able to or wanting to communicate. And so because of that, you haven't been able to receive like things, nothing has been able to be resolved, right? And a lot of this pulling back into your shell has to do with fears from the past, situations from the past that are bringing up things that are influencing the present. And so you don't want to get caught up in that past energy. This is also like in the past, maybe that was the way that you dealt with stuff. And what you're beginning to learn right now is how to deal with things in a different manner. And so it's really about learning how to communicate what it is that you're thinking, what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you need. Right? Cancer energy is the nurturing energy. It's the fulfillment of needs. And so it's going to be really important to talk. I also feel like some of this energy for some people too relates to something that came out in the full moon reading, where we were talking about one of the things that was going to be happening for people that we were closing out with this full moon is like soul contracts, especially romantic soulmate situations. And so there may be this could be referring to some of that energy as well. And so if you need to talk with somebody in order to close something out or resolve something, then absolutely do that. And you may find out some information that brings about this resolution in one way or another, like things that you didn't know before, things that you didn't know that happened in the past. And also, like, people who are pursuing relationships now, there may be energy from your past relationships that's influencing your present or is keeping you from being able to be fully committed and fully invested in your current relationship. And so this past energy, the resolving of that energy, the communication around that is really going to to help bring you the closure that you need in order to really move on. And if you guys, and become fully present with what you have going on now. And if you guys want assistance with this, we can do some work with this with the Belvaspata or the Theta healing. Retrieve those soul fragments, right? Just really close this out, resolve any of these issues, resolve these lessons, and help you to move forward energetically in that way as well. Yeah, but whatever is going on in your life right now, there are situations from your past, there are energies, belief systems, wounds from your past that are influencing the way that you're interacting in your present. And so it's really important to talk about those. And it's really, I think as you do, you'll begin to really understand a deeper level of where they come from and how they can be resolved, right? Like really resolved. Not just like we're going to resolve this situation, but we're going to heal this wound. We're going to address this. We're going to address this belief so that it's no longer influencing me in my present. And like I said, my email's down below if you guys are interested and that sounds intriguing to you. We can do that really quickly and efficiently with the Theta healing. All right, and then we have balance, spirituality, and practicality, full moon in Pisces. This card keeps coming out over and over again. And so this is that energy of uniting the physical and the spiritual. And we kind of talked about this in different ways, right? When we talk about the polarity of the Taurus and the Scorpio energy, Taurus being the practicality, being the body, being the physical, and Scorpio being the emotional, being that more energetic component, that and sort of the balancing of those energies and those polarities to come to a place of stillness and peace. But yeah, it's about all of the different ways where you can, this is also about bringing, it's like, I feel like for some of you guys, or some people that this reading is resonating with, it's like you've really separated those two aspects and you're being asked to, yes, be practical, but also bring your spiritual team into this. Bring the highest, that intention for the highest resolution for all involved into this. Bring in that spiritual energy at the same time that you're being practical. It reminds me of the old parable that's actually attributed to Hunter S. Thompson, but is actually like an old proverb, an old Indian proverb, and it says, call, essentially like paraphrased, call on God but row away from the rocks. Right? And so it's like rowing away from the rocks, that's the practical. Calling on God is the spiritual. We do both. We don't have to do either or. And this can be, of course, extended to every area of our life where we can always call the spiritual in while at the same time taking that practical action, right? But it's really learning how to balance those two parts of yourself. And it's more than balance them, it's merge them. How can you merge those aspects of yourself? There's a big energy, right? We're talking about merging the shadow, the subconscious with the consciousness, right? There's a lot of merging energies that are going on right now because we are returning to a state of oneness, which means that those polarities, which are different sides of that coin, become merged together. And so it's really understanding how to do this. And we're getting little lessons in how to do this in different areas of our lives all the time. And then look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. And one more here. And a new start is coming, new moon. All right. So this is what we're building towards, right? After we move out of this full moon energy, we're building towards that new moon. And so it's just really understanding the bigger picture is like what's underneath this, what's causing this, what is manifesting any of these personal issues in my life. What's the shadow stuff? What's the subconscious stuff? What are the belief systems, right? What is underneath there? What are the wounds? This is what's going to be revealed to us. This is the bigger picture. And then it's really allowing us to, and seeing the bigger soul growth picture too, right? We're talking about the yellow human energy, this energy of free will, this energy of wisdom. When we can see the bigger picture, the bigger lesson, the bigger gift in everything, and then learn to apply that, right? That's wisdom. When we apply it, that is how we then move out of that energy. That's how that energy becomes truly resolved, is when we are able to do that. So how are you able to do that right now? And also when it comes to these changes that you can feel coming, these changes that are approaching, looking at the bigger picture where those are concerned too, and really trusting in that bigger picture, even if you can't see it yet, if it begins to feel overwhelming. But this is just like, everything that is happening right now is paving the way for this beautiful new start, for this beautiful energy, right? We just have to know that and understand that. And then we have don't let pride get in your way. And a fiery climax approaches. All right. So we got 2 fire sign cards to close us out here. All right. We got the full moon in Leo and the full moon in Aries. So 2 big energies here. Big fiery energies. So there is definitely a lot of that. When we have that Scorpio energy too, that's all about fire and intensity. Scorpio is a water sign, but Pluto, even though Pluto as a planet is mostly made of water, I feel a very intense fire energy from Pluto as well, right? It's the Phoenix energy. And so we're really working with a lot of those energies. And so we just want to be careful how those energies are manifesting, how that passionate energy is manifesting in our lives. And just really continuing to be humble, continuing to be forgiving, not allowing the pride and the ego to kind of sneak in the back door and derail any situations, right? We want to be in that open, balanced heart space when we are navigating whatever changes, whatever situations are present in our lives right now. Let's get one more clarifying card for this. We have what do you need to release and expect powerful change, new moon eclipse and waning moon. What do you need to release in order to usher in these changes? That's what this is all about. So for some people, this is the pride and the ego. That's part of what needs to be released here. The ways that is functioning in a way that is not beneficial for you. Right? Because ego is a good thing. Honestly, like our ego is what allows us to survive. It's the reason that humanity has been able to progress to this point. It is helpful, but when it runs unchecked and it becomes the ruler, the dominant energy, right? That's when it becomes less than beneficial for us. And so it's really just understanding and seeing which way, how is your ego manifesting? Is it manifesting as a tool that's assisting you, or is it manifesting in something that's kind of like running the show and keeping you stuck? Or keeping you from being able to see that bigger picture, keeping you from being able to communicate effectively and have these open and honest communications, keeping you from being able to show your true vulnerability, to show and express where you're truly at so that you can move forward. Like, how is that pride and that ego getting in the way? Right? And how is that possibly adding into the drama? There is definitely potential for drama here if we do not keep ourselves in check and continually bring ourselves back into that heart center, right? But yeah, it's all about just looking at the energies that need to be released, because there is prosperity that lies ahead for us. There is so much beautiful energy, these big, beautiful changes wanting to come in. And like, this is a lot of this full moon. It's about appreciating how far we've come, appreciating what has manifested in our reality. And it's also about realizing and understanding where tweaks need to be made and what needs to be released at this time in order to welcome in more of what is meant for us. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. I love you. I appreciate you so very, very, very much. If you like this video, hit that like button. There are links down below to donate if you feel so moved to do so. And as I said, I think quite a few times during this video, my email's in the description box below. Drop a comment. Let me know how you're feeling as we warm up to these intense energies. I love you. I appreciate you. I already said that, but I will say it again and again and again. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday.